Okay, welcome back to another video. We're going to call this one Stability and Controllability for Dummies. So chances are you were in a stage check or a check ride and your examiner, your CFI asked you, hey, can you tell me a little bit about aircraft stability and the different types of stability? And if you're anything like me, you just deer in the headlights, no idea what you're talking about. You pulled something out of your butt and they just looked at you back and were like, okay, you need to study that. And now you're here, okay? I watch a lot of videos on this. It's pretty easy to understand, but this is for dummies, so we want to make this a little bit more simply. So first, let's start off by reading the definition. Aircraft stability is the inherent quality of, stability is the inherent quality of an aircraft to correct for conditions that may disturb its equilibrium and to return to or to continue on the original flight path. It is primarily an aircraft design characteristic, which means it varies from aircraft to aircraft. Okay, so Cessna 172, incredibly stable, right? I don't know if you guys have ever tried to spin them, but they're pretty difficult to spin for the most part. Whereas some other aircraft, inherently less stable because they produce more thrust or they're designed that way, like fighter aircraft, right? So let's start off with static stability. So static stability refers to the initial tendency or direction of movement back to equilibrium. Let's go ahead and start with positive static stability. So you guys know I like Microsoft Paint here, so positive static stability is going to look like this. We're moving on our flight path, just pretend like this is the plane, and we now encounter a gust of wind or turbulence, and it pops us back up, and because of the design of the aircraft, we return back to, actually look more like this, gust, boom, pops us up, and we return back to straight and level flight. Okay, that is positive static stability. Now, if I were flying along here and I encountered neutral static stability, that means that if we were moving along, and this is, I'm just going to scratch that out here, neutral static stability, and I was flying along here, and I encounter a gust of wind, my aircraft would hit this bump and it would just continue on this trajectory with no further inputs. It is neutral. This is neutral static stability. Now, if we go here and we have negative static stability, that means that if we were flying along and we encountered a gust, we get popped up here, and this would continue its oscillations upwards to the point to where it just keeps going and going. So this right here is negative static stability. It looks like this arc right here, okay? This right here is neutral static stability. Once it encounters a gust, it maintains that trajectory, and this, let's do blue, would be positive static, back on its course. Okay, positive. Well, they're the same colors. Negative, neutral, positive. Now, if we want to talk about dynamic stability, it's very similar. However, this is dynamic stability refers to how the aircraft will respond to disturbances over time. And then on Wi-Fi CFI, they give us a really nice chart here. We'll start off with positive static, negative dynamic. So this means that over time, we'll start off with, let's go ahead and bring this back up here. We'll resolve this. Goodbye. I don't know why, but like Microsoft Paint is just, coming in so clutch. It's fun. You just go back to your roots. It's measured over a period of time. So let's say that this black bar right here is starting from minute 0 and this is going up to minute 5. Okay, so I'm just giving you a, I know it's not 5 minutes, but I'm giving you an idea of what happens. So let's say we are flying along here and we encounter a gust. There's our gust, is this arrow, and it is looking like this, and then it just gets freaking worse over time to the point to where it just shoots up here. This right here is called negative dynamic stability. Positive static, neutral dynamic, okay? Neutral dynamic means that if I were to encounter a gust, I'm flying along, and I encounter a gust, it is just going to look like this, and then the oscillations are going to look pretty much the same. So there is not the tendency for it to get worse, okay? There is not the tendency for it to get worse. It just goes up, and then it goes down, and it goes up, and it down, okay? Lastly, positive dynamic, it's still measured over time. If I were to encounter a gust at this point, it goes up, and then it goes down, and then over time it goes back to its normal flight path. That is positive dynamic, okay? Make sense? All right, have a good one.